I consider it a prioritized mandate to fulfill the promises I make to you. And this has been an evolving one, because I said a while back with music consultations what I've been doing particularly within the European space. I've spoken before many times of how I utilize the collaborative model that's existent among many artists, and that they bring on some guest talent from another group. I utilize that model as first introductions, and it was my intention when I started covering Mortemia, who's routinely, that's the whole basis of his model really, as of the pandemic pandemonium sessions and the COVID aftermath sessions, it's the structure he's run with, where he does more so the music side and the tailoring. He also does some background vocals in regards to screaming, and he can do a mad scream. Again, if you've never listened to Mortemia, he's a one-man Norwegian Gothic symphonic metal artist. Highly recommend him. As well as his associated group Sirenia, who I've been exploring lately, and they're equally as talented. But his whole thing is bringing on a artist from some of her band, typically European, and having them do the vocal side. It's usually a female artist. At least that's the way it's been for the, I believe, entirety of the albums thus far. We're taking a bit of a departure today, though not in substantive journey, because I'm evolving that specifically and exploring talents that I've consulted before through those collaborations and learned about, but not in Europe. There's been one departure track, at least that I'm aware of, and I still have a couple tracks to cover off of the pandemic pandemonium sessions, to be fair, but the ones that I've considered presently and what are publicly available now on the channel. One artist did not fit in the attribution of European talent, and that was Katarina Nix, who's South American based. So this was a bit of a departure, but I like taking experiences in regards to where talent might exist in a worldwide perspective, not just in Europe, though I spent a lot of time in their metal scene, and they are thriving right now. South American, I've barely explored this landscape, and Katarina Nix was a wonderful first addition. I loved the levity in her voice, and I thought the track in itself demanded different things. I mean, it had a bit of a harsh side to it, a more ballad side. It was varied in regards to its atmosphere. And I'm very curious to explore more of her talents and other attributions. So Chaos Magic is the one we're looking at today. And it's not her only attribution. I've also seen, I regarded this when I covered her first, Somber Wind is another one. And I have some of their tracks lined up as well. A good selection. But Chaos Magic is the one I'm engaging with right now. And this was, again, I believe she's the lead vocalist here, I think. Whereas Somber Wind, I believe, is an ensemble of multiple different artists, including her. This is more so her in focus. I'm very curious to hear more of her talents in other places, and to say that I've explored, literally on a worldwide perspective, now expanding to South America, where I've never visited in person, and, well, like Europe, I've never been there in person either. But I've happily visited their music scenes from the comfort of my basement, and I've explored around. Maybe to artists that perhaps in my circles are deemed very unfamiliar. I do have a bit of a presence of an anomaly, in regards to people that I hang out with, specifically in regards to the music that I favor, but I tend to look for where the most talent is boasted, and Europe has had a wealth of a supply, including Mortemia. If it had not been for Mortemia and that collaboration for Adrenalize, I would never have met Katarina Nix and been introduced. And he deserves a lot of credit, in particular, for many of the artists I've come across, even if not directly. I've looked at bands that are associated with others. I've done a spiral effect of guest artists that come on other groups that he's associated with for the collaboration that have in no way a connection to him other than that thread. I've explored around quite a bit. Mortemia is the basis for a lot of the groups I've been introduced to. So I do credit him quite a bit in regards to expanding my library. And I have to make sense of the same attribution here, because Chaos Magic, I wouldn't have found them if it had not been for the Katarina Nix collaboration for Adrenalize. But I'm curious to engage with her. Again, I liked that first introduction, and I hope you do too. If you've not explored her in talent, first of all, I would recommend you go listen to the Mortemia song if you haven't yet. But this will be a first journey for both of us. For me, I've loved to expand around in regards to not only music coverage on this channel and expand the library of what I cover. And it's been great to evolve the presence again of a long, sustained ambition on my heart. Although I cover quite a range of artistic ventures in other formats, music for me has always been the dominated love in my life. And so for me, I've always wanted to expand on this. And over the 2023 year, similar to how the process began of 2022, it's evolving quite well. And we're exploring around a great list of names. I've got a wide collection at this point growing that I got to consult their music. And Chaos Magic is just the one I'm happening upon today. And perhaps for some of you, you're familiarized with their talents, and you can speak to Katarina Nix on that in your familiarity. But maybe some of you are approaching this as a fresh listener. I hope at some part my videos do inspire connection points to be forged with other talents if you've been going artist shopping like I have many times, and you don't know necessarily where to look. South America has a very talented artist, in my opinion. that we're going to get a better introduction to today with Emerge. I have the music video pulled up for this particular track, and as well, if you're not familiar with the way I format my videos, music-wise, I try and accommodate listener taste the best that I can. So if you're somebody that is not familiar with that format, and you're somebody that likes to read along with the lyrics of a piece when you proceed through it and not just listen to the track as well, even though, again, I have a video to accompany this, I will have the lyrics pulled up for you in the video feed, and I'll track along with the song as we navigate our way through it. But with Emerge, hang on, let me get it up for myself, because I'm going to read the lyrics alongside watching this piece. Let's get an introduction to Katarina Nix on a deeper level with Chaos Magic. I like the name, by the way, and the cover's pretty interesting. They got a couple covers as well that were pretty enticing on a visual perspective. But a cover only does so much for you. Let's consult the song. I'm sure it'll be equally as good. Hang on. All right. Now I can say I've listened to more South American music. Hey, I like broadening out my repertoire. Softer opening, electronic basis, okay. I'm warming up to it. I'm not really an electronic guy, but Europe's done a lot for me in regards to making it favored. Ah, unique. It's kind of retro in her style. Oh wow, I like the daintiness. There's a frailty. Oh, it's beautiful. Those scale ups are wonderful. He's on that one transitional phrase. She's even more exquisite here than she was on Mortinia. She was good there, but her range and style are just... I love this. I'm trying to follow along with the story too. I mean, it's a very opulent, colorful, with the golden overlay. Oh, that's a nice ring. If those are for sale, I want one. Anyways, I was saying I was trying to follow along with the story, but the song is very engrossing, so you'll be understanding, I'm sure, finding my attention waver a bit to what's of more predominant fixation, in my opinion. Oh, nice. I like that. Keeps it very engaging, listen. But keeps that pacing rolling. Doesn't feel like an abrupt break at all. Oh, wow. He's obviously more talented than even I knew. Oh yes, give it some symphonic flair. I'm into that. Nice build. Great first introduction. I love this worldwide perspective I've taken. Again, I'm the one who stumbles upon all these groups. I just love doing it. These are always rewarding experiences. Looks like about 48 seconds to go in this thing. I'm happy with it though. I wouldn't in any way complain. Nice strings closure. That's wonderful. Even worked in a piano combination in there. That's wonderful. South America, too, has a wonderful metal scene. Not just Europe, apparently. Hey, America does, too. But I've just spent so much time in the European landscape, and I've loved what I've heard, but South America is equally as good. And again, I love being able to say I'm venturing out in a worldwide perspective. Because, I'm of the mindset that talent is, at least in some of the smaller names, I don't know how potent Chaos Magic is. I would imagine at least it's some level of recognition because, again, that's probably what got her the connection for Mortemia. Or maybe he stumbled upon her at some point and was like, I need to spotlight this artist. If they don't have a grand spotlight, how many views is this video sitting at currently? 111,000. That deserves to be higher. That's a beautiful piece. I mean, it's energy, the range of what Katarina Nix can hit. And to be fair, again, Adrenalize spoke to that, but not to that extent. And even the personality to her voice, it had a bit of like a pop flair, sort of retro in the beginning too, at least what I felt. It kind of dated this piece back for me a bit, at least in the vocal style. I like the frailty. It has a unique dimension to it where it's not necessarily just based on artist capabilities. It felt specific. An individualized piece, opulent display. I did lose track of the story going through of it, and then I guess this woman escaping a bondage of a golden atmosphere. I don't know. Maybe it was just like a fun visualizer to accompany. Maybe there's not necessarily a larger story, or I just didn't follow along with it. If you did, feel free to comment down below. I like that, though. Again, this is the type of energy what I look for in metal, and something of a symphonic vibe as well as easily attractant. Like, this is the type of music that I always am gravitating to in my spare time. And South America apparently has a good supply, too. So I'll have to look deeper into them. Or, yeah. So I thought I said South Africa for a minute. No, it's South America, I believe. Yes. Anyway. Again, I've gone all over the world at this point from my basement in regards to music talent, so you'll forgive me if I start mixing up countries. I'll try and correct the record if I make a mistake, but Chaos Magic is wonderful. I like that piece. Great first introduction. Emerge is a fantastic launch into what I would imagine is going to be a rewarding experience. Especially for someone like me who's constantly looking to update his library, even though my phone is quickly maxing out of space. You sometimes never know where to find talent in the world. Unless perhaps you take certain ventures and then through a networking process, you stumble upon artists that you never knew you would like, or even knew about existing. Chaos Magic was one, and I do have to credit, as I do for many of the groups I cover, Mortemia. He was the reason it got me in. I wouldn't have found Chaos Magic if it weren't for that collaboration. And I'm grateful that Adrenalize exists, because it led me to a song like this, which I do believe, again, based on that view count, this deserves a higher viewership. It's a wonderful, wonderful piece, in my opinion. And from sure any ever metal fan, you would probably agree. Especially if many of you are coming at this from a first introduction. I would imagine some of you are approaching this video knowing Chaos Magic, and there's a bit of a familiarity, but maybe some of you, and I do hope that this is the case, you're engaging with this artist for the first time. What do you think about the piece? If you so wish to disclose your perspective, let me know down below. I'm excited to engage more. I've got about 3 tracks in total, I think, for them lined up currently, I believe. I think it's only 3 tracks. Yes. I have so many counts of artists I want to consult. Numbers kind of float around a bit, but I will be back in another subsequent video for, what's the next piece I'm covering with them? Let me see, Chaos Magic. And I will also in the future be looking at Somber Wind as well. At some point, I'm not sure yet when. Because I got a lot of groups I want to navigate through. Beneath Your Skin will be next. I'm sure it'll be equally as potent as Emerge. That's a wonderful first introduction. This is track number 1 on the album, so track number 2 is the one we're going to look at next following that. It's quite beautiful. I knew Katarina Nix was appealing on a vocalist perspective, but I didn't realize that she could achieve that level of a range. And her flair is quite dynamic in my opinion. Again, that frailty feels very natural, but enviable as a talent. I'm very impressed of her. And broadly speaking, Chaos Magic, they're a wonderful addition to my metal library. I'm very excited to engage with them further. Thank you so much for watching this video. Before you bounce, feel free to drop a like and comment, subscribe to this channel with a ding on the bell, and share this video with your friends. And consider checking out the description here. There you'll find links to my other channels, as well as addresses to my other social media accounts and ways you can help support my work if you feel so inclined. May God bless you, and looking forward to when our paths cross again.